All right, let's talk a little bit about what's happening here. I'm all set up. I've already started weaving a cattail, but how did I get to this spot? What I did first was I used this paper, old graph paper, to basically draw out the cat pattern that I used from my 8-shaft loom. Now you notice we had 25 cats on the 8-shaft loom. Here I have 3. I'm doing a demonstration. You can do as many cats as you want or fewer cats. I wanted to show you what it would look like. If I did all 25 on a wider loom, it would take a little bit longer to demonstrate. So that's why we're doing 3. But I do like to do an odd number of cats. So what I did was I decided this yarn is similar to the 6/2 yarn that I have on a loom and 8/2. It's maybe a little bit heavier. And what I did, it's kind of like a 5/2, I believe is what it is. The reed that I'm using is a 15 dent reed. My plan was to have 4 inches and 60 threads. Well, when I was finished, I counted, I had 58 threads. It's just the way, what I had to do to center my pattern. What I did was I counted how many threads that you go across, and let me go back to this pattern here. This is telling me I went across 3 threads, and when I get up here, I did my numbers over here, you start off with, let's see, 7, 9, and then 11. I needed all that information to do some math. I have 15 total ends, and I found out that I could, after I did my math ahead of time, I could do 3 cats with spaces in between, just like I have the spaces here. And then all the extra threads are on each side. When I did it, I think I started off with 14 on one side, and I think the other side is going to end up with 12 or 13, I can't remember. But it's still balanced enough that looks nice enough for me. So you have to do a little bit of math. So whatever motif you decide to do, a little bit of math ahead of time will help you in the end. Now let's take a look at this. This is actually the pattern, but it's not showing you something. This is showing you all the black threads for the cats. Now let's take a look at this one. This one looks like a cat who's the old-fashioned prison garb that people wore, the stripes. Looks like the cat's in prison. What it's showing you, though, is the dark color is the cat or the pattern, and the other part is what we call the tabby, the one that goes every other thread. To do these colors here, I need a pickup stick. To do the other, every other, I can use my reed. So I can use, when I'm using the white thread, which is it's a little bit thinner than this. This one I believe is an 8/2 yarn. It shows off the pattern better. This is all the same yarn that I used, like the 5/2. That's the same as the warp, and this is thicker. It's probably twice as thick as the warp thread. So this is the pattern and the weft. I have 3 of the tails done, 3 back and forth, 1, 2, 3. I have 4 and 5 yet to do. So let's take a look on how I'm going to do the next one. The very first one we'll talk about, I had to literally count all the threads in between. Now that I have all of those counted, I don't have to count them anymore because I already know that I'm going to press down 3. I'm going to come over here, press down the same 3 because we're still doing it the same 3. And then what I'm going to do, this is because I want to catch one thread on the edge. I want this one to wrap around and not go underneath. And I'll show you the reason I want to do that in a moment. I'm going to turn this on its side, take the yarn, the heavier yarn, the cat yarn, pull it through, just like you normally do an angle. Now I can take this on the side and I can beat it this way. Now why did I wrap it around? I did not want that thread to go all the way over here. I wanted it to stop. So that's why I wrapped that one on there. All right, so I'm ready. And now the next thing is I have to take the white thread. This is where I tend to forget which direction I was. Okay, we're going to go up because the last time I went down, I'm going to take the white thread and that's going to lock it in place, that pattern. Pull it all the way over, again, just like you would do, at least what I do, kind of an angle, and then I can beat that. And next what I'll do is I'll put this back in the rest position again. Then I have one more of the cattail to do. I'll finish that one. Then I will have to go, and the next part, I believe, let me double check my numbers here, was 7. So what I'll do over here, the last time I went 14 across, this time I'm going to go 12 across, then I'll be pressing down 7. This happens to be 7, press down 7, 7, 7, and then I believe, like I said, whatever's left over here, I'll just keep on going. And then what I'll do is I'll keep going until I'm finished with this cat. We'll keep on going, but I'm going to go a little bit farther ahead so you'll almost see where the cat's done. And that's how you would get started with whatever pattern you decide that you might like to do. All right, now you can see, if you can see here, how far I've come along with the cats. I just worked on, I guess, over 5. Now I have to go back across. I'm doing the neck. I'm going to balance those there right now. And like I usually like to do that first one, catch that. Now, well, I'm going to actually go the other direction since I'm right-handed. I'm still going to catch that one. And what I'm going to do now, the last one was 5, and now we're going to do 3, similar to the neck or the tail. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. I'm counting the 1, 2, 3 that are down, and I'm catching that last thread as well, or the first thread actually. And we're going to take the black through, and I'm going to flatten it. There's a little neck going on there. And the next would be to take, we go up, and it's the tabby going the other direction. And now we beat it back in place. And now I'm ready to go back and do the, head of the cat next, but I need to start to increase it again. So this time, again, I take that last one, and we're going to increase it just a little bit. We had 3, now we're going to cross 5. I'm pressing 5 down. Same thing here. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go across that way. And I'm going to take that through. Pull my tabby thread through. Beat that. Put the stick on the side. Pull that through a little bit. And take the tabby back through the other direction. And I'm going to do a little more weaving, and then I'm going to get to where I get to I have the head to do, then I'm going to do the ears. All right, now I'm at the cat ears, and what I've already done was I already put the pickup stick through, and here I have 2, and then we have the 3 in the middle of the head, and I'm going to turn it on the side, take this through, and I need to do the tabby, goes up, tug it through. Back here, and we're going to do another one for the ears, which is nice. When you do the second one, it's not as difficult because you're going through the same one that we just did. And remember, if I had not done that tabby in between, especially when I'm doing two in the same, it would just come out. The other thing I started doing, because I made some mistakes earlier, was before I literally put the thread through, I'm going to check and count here, 3, 3, 3. That looks fine. I got that one down there, put that to the side. Put this through. Oh, luckily I got that through before that pickup stick fell down. Since it fell down, I'm going to beat it this way. And I'm going to take this back up. Now I'm going to carry this along up here. You'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. If I was finished with this, I'd cut the black off. Not quite finished with it. I'm going to put that through, and then I'm going to beat it. And now I'm going to go back and forth a few times. And what I meant is I'm going to catch that on there, kind of wrap that around. It just saves from having a little extra thread. You could cut it off if you wanted and add it later. So right now, again, I am doing back and forth. I'm still using the thinner yarn. I will change later when I get beyond the border. So I have that one. Back down again. This time I'm going to wrap that around the edge. Kind of catches it on there rather than having a big, I have to count here. I think I have 5 or 6. Double check here. What we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I do have 6. And I have my little helper here. Probably just saw Maggie. She just decided to come in here and bring me her ball. I'm not quite done, Maggie, with this. All right, now right now though, I see that I actually made a mistake. See that? So what I have to do is I have to weave backwards to take that out. This is when sometimes you get to see what happens when you make a mistake. All right, now I'm gonna, like I said, weave backwards. And what basically happened was I did the tabby at the same, on the same opening, and I don't really want to do that. It's a mistake. It's not a design element. I know some people say, oh, that's a design element. Well, maybe it might be for some people, but for this situation, we're going to go back here to where the mistake was. Let's see if I can find it. Might be on the next one, actually. I might have lucked out on this. We'll see here in a minute. Let's see. I think I may have. Let's see. And that was in the same one. So sometimes there's different ways of figuring this out. I might be able to take it out, pull all this down. The problem is right now it got wrapped around a lot of these other ones here. So I'm going to take this back out here. See if I can do it that way. Get to see how I fix something here. All right, so we go back here. All right, I see that. And now we're going to go down rather than up here. Oh, gotta put that back there. All right, let's see if we can get this correct this time. Bring it through. I think I got it. Yep, that looks much better. So I can continue to wrap this around and we can be entertained by Maggie, who I think you can see in the camera. I'm not looking at the camera right now. That. And then I'm going to go back down. I'm going to keep on weaving. I'm going to pause the camera. And I'm going to show you what I do to finish this in a moment. All right, I finished with the thinner yarn. I'm going to do the border like I did at the bottom, just back and forth. And I did cut off the other one. And I am finished with this. What I do is I will cut that one off. This gets tucked inside like that. You could also take it through the other side if you want to, because it's going to be the back side. Okay, but now what I have to do, I just dropped my shuttle, I'll have to find it here. What I did is I had the one that I cut off here. I'm going to tuck that one in. I know they look like they're the same size yarn. They're just a little bit different. What I'm doing is down here, I wove with the thicker yarn, which is the same as the warp. Yes, there's Maggie again. She's such a big help. I overlap that just a little bit, bring it in, and then I will continue. I'll cut those ends off later on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue weaving with this yarn. I'm going to stop here until as long as I want it. So this, I'm not sure what I'll make. Might make this little wall hanging. I may end up making it in a little bag, or maybe I'll do another cat pattern, or perhaps bunny rabbits or something else.